Hello folks, Scott with Dallas Paint Correction and Auto Detailing here in Dallas, Texas. If you looked at the title of this video, I make a pretty bold claim about removing smokes, cigarette odors, nicotine, tar, all the byproducts that come with smoking in a vehicle. How do I remove these permanently from a car? Permanently is a pretty strong word, and what I'm going to expose you to, boy, I'm going to be really careful here, but it is such a good tip. It is such a great secret, if you want to call it that way. I am willing to expose you to it and tell you how it works. But it comes with, get ready for this word, it comes with some risks. So you're going to have to figure out if this works in your world. I have been doing this for years. As a professional, I understand the products I'm about to use. I know where I can use them, where I can't use them. This is, for lack of a better word, an advanced tip to removing smoke odors permanently from a car without using an ozone generator. Excuse me. Are you ready to hear this? Again, this is advanced tips. There are certain things I'm going to be discussing in this video that you need to know and you need to understand. It's going to be about a lot of different things, but I want to remove smoke permanently from the car. Within my industry, a lot of products just fall too short because they're too scared to give us products that truly work, because a lot of products have risks. They can damage other materials in the car. But when I want to get rid of smoke, the first time, every time, smoke odors, nicotine, tar, and I want to get it out of the car without using a fancy, very expensive ozone generator, and I need to be effective, this is the method I'm going to use, but it is advanced. So I never tell people what to do. Kind of pay attention if you want to, and I will go through this process with you. A lot of you know that when it comes to pet odor smells, I talked about this in another video, skunk, etc. Love it for pet odor smells, okay? If we're talking about organic smells within a car, blood, urine, feces, vomit, all these organic type of smells, I am a huge fan of Intercon Activate Plus. And yes, I even said if you have some smoke inside the car, if it's light smoke, it wasn't really a heavy smoker in the car, it will get after some of those nicotine or tobacco smells within the car. Hopefully it's not too windy, folks. I apologize if it is. The next product I'm going to expose to you, you have to understand how it works and where I use it only to permanently remove cigarette smoke and nicotine from a car. Whether or not you're going to use an ozone generator, if you're using an ozone generator, a lot of people who own ozone generators will tell you, and if they haven't told you or they're not doing it, they're not going to be effective with that very expensive tool either. You have got to thoroughly clean everything inside this car first before using an ozone generator or before using this next method. Again, it's an advanced method. What you need to do is something like Super Clean that I would use at 5-to-1, or maybe you like Meguiar's all-purpose cleaner, maybe you like Meguiar's super degreaser. You have got to make sure, I don't care how clean the car may be, you as a professional detailer or a car enthusiast, you have got to touch and clean every surface within this vehicle even before you use an ozone generator. An ozone generator is only as good as the man or the woman who cleaned the car first before it's used. I'm going to get into some tips about an ozone generator within this video as well. So what I have done, let's pretend here for a moment, I have spent a couple of hours cleaning every surface inside this car. I have scrubbed these seats. I have mopped up and pulled mechanically, if you will, a bulk of the nicotine smell, a bulk of the tar, smoke smell from the car, but we still have some left over. There are professional detailers out there that will tell you to use some type of laundry detergent mixed in a bottle like Tide Cold Water Clean. I have also recommended that to you as well. I will promise you that will only get you so far. That may get it if you have a light smoker in the car, but if we're talking about somebody who's been chain smoking in the car, maybe a woman or a gentleman that's a 2-pack-a-day smoker, they're a traveling salesman, they live in their car, I will tell you that Tide, any type of laundry detergent, or just simply cleaning the car alone will not permanently remove the smoke. It's just my opinion, and it's based on many, many years of experience plus using those products. You guys know how much I am in love with Citral 266. This is citral, this is the liquid form, this is the concentrate, highly concentrate. I use it to remove water spots, I use it to remove bugs from cars, I use it to remove road tar, adhesives when I'm debadging or removing emblems from cars. I understand how this product works. I understand that residue needs to be removed after you're using it. You have to apply some common sense. These are very high-end professional products that will get you very far if you know how to use them. And that's a very important point when we're using it inside a vehicle. And here we go, I'll tell you how I do this. I will take Citral 266 concentrate, and I will take a 32-ounce bottle. This happens to be Meguiar's glass cleaner. It's got a dilution ratio on the side of it, 10:1. I will fill this bottle up with distilled water only, not soft water, not hard water, not from the tap. I will fill it with distilled water to the 10:1 line. I will fill up the rest of the bottle with the concentrate of citral. Something you need to realize about citral: if you leave it in a bottle for a couple of hours, it will actually separate within the water. You want to shake this up and make sure that it's completely within the water. So let's say I have cleaned this thoroughly, I have vacuumed, I have scrubbed with Super Clean, I have mopped up, I have used Super Clean on all the plastic pieces inside this car. This is going to be an important part when we're using citral inside of a vehicle, keeping it away from plastics, okay? And I'll tell you why. But stuff like Super Degreaser, Super Clean, all-purpose cleaner by Meguiar's will remove a lot of the tar, a lot of the nicotine that may stick to these surfaces. You also have to remember plastic typically doesn't retain smoke smells like fabric will or carpets will, and that's where citral is going to change your life. If you're willing to use it, you understand the risks. You do not want to get this stuff, even diluted at 10:1. You don't want to get it on certain plastics inside the car, and I'll go into that. There are certain plastics it's fine for. There are certain plastics it is not appropriate for. I have been using it for far too long. I know how it works, and I'm going to share it with you. So I have cleaned this seat. It's ready to go. I vacuumed it, I super cleaned it, I've touched every surface in this car, including the headliner. I am only going to use citral diluted 10:1 with distilled water in this 32-ounce bottle, and I'm going to apply it to this seat. The way this works, folks, a lot of you have used Febreze, which is a fabric kind of smelly stuff, right? And the way you would use Febreze is you'd mist it on your curtains or your couch or whatever, and that would be it. What I want you to do with citral, and again, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of this stuff, but when I want to remove smoke odors, nicotine, tar, the first time, every time, permanently, this is the way I'm going to go. But I've been using it for very, very long. I know how it works. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get the surface of this fabric pretty wet. I'm not saturating it, but I'm not using it like Febreze. I want to get that surface pretty wet. This stupid spray bottle is not working with me right now in the moment, but I want to get it pretty wet. Get it all over the fabric. I'm only using citral 10:1 on fabric and on carpet and on the headliner, not on interior plastics, and I'll go into why. So there you go. I've got that surface. If I touch it, it's wet. I'm going to let it sit there for a minute and kind of penetrate that fabric. I'm going to take a clean microfiber towel, somewhat clean, and all I'm going to do, I'm not necessarily trying to mop up the product. I've already cleaned this seat. I want that citral to penetrate the fabric. I'm going to lightly go over this seat. What I'm actually doing is making sure that I've got distribution of the citral all over every inch of this fabric. I'm just kind of knocking down the product a little bit, and once I'm sure it's on every part of that fabric, I will then go back to my citral diluted 10:1 in a 32-ounce bottle and use it like Febreze now. I will lightly mist the surface, and I am done with that bottom part of the seats. I will only do this on fabric. Do not use citral straight diluted 10:1, 15:1 on interior plastics, and I'll go into it in a minute. If you happen to get some overspray of citral on plastic pieces, wipe it up immediately, remove the residue. as a professional, I have got to find products that will remove permanently smoke smells without playing a game of smoke and mirrors with my customers. I don't want to mask the smell. I want it to be gone permanently. I have used Tide, certain types of laundry detergent on really hammered vehicles that have a lot of smell. I will get a call back 2 or 3 or 4 months later going, Scott, it didn't get it all. This will get it all, but it comes with some risk. So that's how I would do it on the fabric seats, on the headliner, and on the carpet. It's the only way I'm going to use citral 10-to-1, because you have to remember with smoke odors, they'll cling and they'll stick to these fabric surfaces, the seats, the carpet, the headliner. It's the only place I use it. There is another chemical out there called Rapid Remover. Rapid Remover and Citral 266 are almost identical by the ingredients. Citral has some ingredients are a little bit more of the ingredients are in citral, they're a little bit more concentrated, and that's why it's dilutable, if that's a word. That's why you can dilute it, and that's why I like it. It's more versatile than Rapid Remover. But I want to talk about interior plastics. This doesn't get discussed on Auto Geek. It doesn't get discussed on Chemical Guys. I've been working on cars for far too long, folks, and I understand how they work. When we look at interior plastics, let me move this camera so you can see this dashboard. Some of this dashboard has soft touch plastic. Some of them are very, very hard. Plastic is not all created equal. If you have a soft touch plastic kind of dashboard, I can promise you right now, this dashboard happens to be light blue, okay? What actually is surrounded on that soft touch plastic is actually a form of, I want to call it Plasti-Dip to kind of help you guys understand this. This dashboard, if I was to remove that rubberized coating, which looks like plastic, which looks like vinyl, whatever it is, the dashboard may actually be black behind it. If you use Citral or Rapid Remover, Citral at 10-to-1 or Rapid Remover straight, and you were to spray it on these plastic pieces that are rubberized, that have a coating on top of the plastic, it will eat that Plasti-Dip or that coating right off the dashboard. I also want you to be careful when you're using Citral or Rapid Remover. You've seen a lot of guys talk about using Rapid Remover to remove stains from fabric or carpet. That's all wonderful, very good. Those guys have a lot of experience with that product, but what they're not telling you is that once your rag gets wet, whether it's Citral or whether it's Rapid Remover and it's wet, it's saturated with the product from you mopping up. If I was to put this towel that's either saturated or wet in Citral or in Rapid Remover and it sits on that, and this particular dashboard has that rubberized coating on the outside of the plastic, I promise you that towel will start to eat through that Plasti-Dip coating on the dashboard. They don't talk about this on Auto Geek. They don't talk about it on Chemical Guys or anything like that, and that's why a lot of products are pH neutral, pH balanced, but sometimes they don't work effectively enough. But you got to know what you're working on, because not all plastic is created equal. This will begin to melt and break down that coating, and then you'll go to remove that towel and go, oh, holy crap, I've ruined the dashboard. And in fact you have. This is where the risks come in with using Citral or Rapid Remover inside the vehicle. Only use them on fabric surfaces like the seats, the carpet, the headliner. You'll be fine. If you get any overspray from either product, wipe off the residue immediately off any plastic components, okay? Kind of think I've hit the point there, but that's how it works. Sometimes as professionals, advanced tips, we need these products because we know how they work, we know how to use them. We're careful with overspray. Here's another point. You like Fabric Guard and you use Fabric Guard on the carpet. Here's something these other companies won't tell you. Fabric Guard itself, if you spray it on plastic pieces, will ruin plastic interior parts, something you also need to know. I'm also going to show you something when it comes to, let's say you wanted to use an ozone generator and you were using an ozone generator to remove smoke smells from a car. This is another area where a lot of guys will miss. Yes, they may clean these rubber gaskets with an all-purpose cleaner, Super Clean, Meguiar's Super Degreaser. That will remove grease and grime, but where Citral 266 mixed 10-to-1 or even Rapid Remover straight What you want to do with these areas, because you got to remember when you're using an ozone generator and you close the door, these seals are no longer exposed. The generator's outside the vehicle with the hose coming through the window. Yes, it can pull some of that smoke smell out of the car, but if you don't clean these rubber seals prior, you're losing the battle right off the bat. So what I will do is I will take citral 10-to-1 in a 32-ounce bottle. I will spray it on a microfiber towel. Again, I don't want to get any stuff on the plastic, but it's safe on the rubber. I just want to treat the rubber, these rubber gaskets. I want to pull all that nicotine, all that smoke smell that's on it. Again, when people are smoking in the car, they usually got the window slightly cracked. All these little rubber seals around the window, you have to treat them. Citral, even rapid remover, straight, our citral 10-to-1 will remove the smell of nicotine almost on contact, but these are little areas that you have to clean as well. So to kind of go over this with you again, when you use citral, this is an advanced tip, or you want to even use rapid remover on fabric to remove smoke smells, you can as well, because they're almost identical products. This stuff here only on fabrics, only on the carpets, on the upholstery fabric, the headliner, that's it. Any overspray you get, remove it immediately, okay, off the plastics. Not all plastics are created equal. Some are completely molded in plastic as solid form, and some of them will actually have a rubberized coating that you'll think is plastic. You find that with soft touch dashboards. You can actually remove that plasti dip or that rubberized coating with either rapid remover or citral. Again, this is a advanced tip to permanently removing smoke from the car. I do this on a regular basis. I know how it works. I've got a lot of time with it. I know the pros and cons. I was slightly hesitant to kind of give up this tip or this secret, but I think most of you will get the point. Just be very careful how you use the product inside the vehicle and outside the vehicle, but it will change your world. There is a company out there, I can't tell you the name of the company, but I met the guy that's the CEO of the company. He owns a company that goes in and cleans homes that have fire damage, smoke damage. Maybe there was a fire in part of the house and there was smoke damage in the other part. He will actually use citral 266 to clean curtains within the home. He will clean fabric upholstery within the home, even carpets within the home, diluted properly. He doesn't use it on plastic pieces or on wood furniture or anything like that that's got some type of coating on it. But this stuff is incredibly effective. It's his secret weapon too. I met him about 9 years ago in California at a winery, and the two of us talked about how we use the product. So wanted to pass that along with you. If you know how the product works, you know its pros and cons, and you can work with that moment, you'll be more highly effective. I can remove smoke permanently the first time, every time. Here's another little tip. There is a cabin air filter within the vehicle. I always recommend those be replaced. It's about a 50-50 crapshoot. Some of my customers will do it, some of them won't. Even if they don't replace the air filter, the cabin filter within the vehicle, and I use citral appropriately on all the fabric pieces at 10-to-1, I can still get the smoke completely out of the car, whether they change the cabin filter or not. But I always leave that little room for me to tell my customer the cabin filter needs to be replaced as well. But again, before you even start this process, before you even use an ozone generator, you have got to thoroughly clean the car and touch every surface to the best of your ability with a good degreaser or cleaner. Off the plastic pieces, nicotine or tar will come off. You'll get it off. You might have to work it a little bit, but don't use citral on it. Don't use rapid remover on plastic pieces. You can actually damage them. But once you've gotten all that done, and now you just want to go after the fabric, the carpet, the upholstery, the headliner, citral mix 10-to-1 has changed my life over the last 9 years. But you got to remember, it's an advanced tip. I wanted to share it with you. Yes, Tide cold water clean will get you so far. Yes, just cleaning the vehicle thoroughly will get you just so far. As a professional, I want solutions. I want permanent fixes. I do not want to go back to my customer and put my tail between my leg. This is how I do it, and I wanted to share it with you. Sorry it's 19 minutes long, but there's a lot of things that you need to know when using some of these high-end professional products. You got to use them responsibly, use a lot of common sense, and once you understand how these products work, you are golden. You are going to stand out amongst the competition, and you're going to fly. I appreciate it. Love you all. Until next time, love one another, be kind to one another, and we'll see you on the next video.